Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. It's Tom with Friskified Fitness. And today I'm going to discuss 8 more things I wish I knew before I began working out. The first thing I wish I knew before I began working out was how addictive it would be. When I was in 7th grade, my dad bought me a really nice weight set, and I followed the directions that came with the weights, saying to do 3 times a week, starting off with 1 set per exercise and increasing the sets as the weeks go on. Well, the day after that first workout, I had the DOMS, the delayed onset muscle soreness, and I'm going, this hurts, but I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. 2 days later, when I was doing the second workout, immediately after finishing a set of curls, my bicep, they felt funny, they felt weird, and I didn't know the word pump at the time, but that's what I was experiencing. And at that point, I realized I might as well face it. I'm addicted to pumps. And I have been addicted to working out for most of my life ever since. The second thing I wish I knew before I began working out was that life would attempt to get in the way of actually working out. The usual: marriage, stressful job, kid, nothing much really. Looking back, I wish I had taken the time to do some workouts here and there where time allowed. And that directly leads me to the third thing I wish I knew before I began working out, is to don't stop, never stop working out. There were several years when I was getting married, house, kid, car, stressful job and all that, where I stopped working out. And if you don't make the effort, you don't have the commitment, and that's on me. And I wish I had invested in some home workout equipment, such as weights, bands, suspension trainers, heck, even springs. That way, I wouldn't have stopped. I would have had the opportunity to continue working out. The fourth thing I wish I knew before I began working out is to not ego lift, at least not as often. You see, there was a period of time when I was 18, 19, 20 where I decided I wanted to lift the heaviest weights I could, and I was pretty successful in lifting them. However, I wasn't using particularly good form. We'll get to that in just a moment. But I was lifting the weights and I wasn't ready to handle that heavy a weight. And I truly believe that me handling such tremendous amounts of weights before I was actually ready to has led to some of the joint issues that I've experienced later in life. And that leads me to the fifth thing I wish I knew before I began working out. Find someone qualified to show the proper form, the proper way to perform exercises. You see, I was mimicking what I saw in the gym, and a lot of the big guys, they were handling a lot of weight, but they were using horrible form. I also wanted to handle a lot of weight. I also wanted to be one of the big guys, and I was using the same crappy form that they were.
As a result, that slowed down my gains
And increased the risk of injuries. And that's what happens when you use bad form. You reduce your gains and increase your injuries. And when you're injured, you're killing your gains. The sixth thing I wish I knew before I began working out was to focus more on nutrition, on proper nutrition. Now, I knew that protein was very important thanks to reading the Weider magazines like Muscle and Fitness. However, I did not apply that knowledge. I wound up eating crap. Now, when I was young, I had a pretty fast metabolism, so it burned off. But that stopped, and I can pretty much pinpoint it when that stopped. because when I went to college, when I entered the dorm, my waist was 30 inches. But thanks to the wonder of chicken wings and beer, before Thanksgiving break, my waist was at 34 inches. I wish I had focused more on the nutrition aspect. The seventh thing I wish I knew before I began working out was to concentrate more on the compound lifts, those lifts that used multiple joints. Now, I was doing fine with the bench, the squat, and the deadlift, even though I was using horrible form, but I was spending even more time on the single joint or isolation movements, such as the concentration curl. And that slows down your gains when you do that. To make the best gains, the most gains when you're starting out, you're better off concentrating on the compound lifts rather than the isolation movements. And the final thing I wish I knew before I began to work out was that I should stay away from some movements. Which movements? The upright row, the behind the neck shoulder press, the behind the neck pull down. All of those things are impingements waiting to happen. And they didn't wait for too long for me. Throughout my life, I had a lot of shoulder impingements, mainly because, I'm a slow learner. I have since learned, and I've been impingement free for a few years now. But I wish I knew that before I began working out. So that's my list of 8 more things I wish I knew before I began working out. Any of them resonate with you? Do you have any to add? Let me know down in the comments below. And also leave me a like and a subscribe. It helps the channel out. That's about it for today's video. My name's Tom. This is Friskified Fitness, and I'll see you next time.